Now, it's a word we all hate to hear, but what if being told no could actually be good for you?
Do we tell it to our kids enough? This is something that my kids also do. So you always say no. Dr. Tara Logan Buckley joins us now to explain the TikTok psychology trend of rejection therapy. So this is a TikTok trend I'm putting my kids through. What is rejection therapy?
Sure. So, yeah, that's it. We don't talk about rejection therapy. This is kind of like a new buzzword that's come about. It's really been made famous by an entrepreneur called Rejection. He kind of took on a challenge of doing 100 days of being rejected by people. And then what he did was he videoed this, that went viral, and he had a big, massive TED talk that happened with it. And then he wrote a book about his experience as well, Rejection Proof. So this is where it's come from. So basically... What do
therapists call it?
So for me, it's exposure therapy.
Gotcha,
it's kind of like a behavioural therapy. What we do is we will take something that will make us, that we have a fear from or that we feel anxious about. And what we typically do is we'll go from something that brings up kind of like a mild sensation of fear or anxiety to something that's quite extreme. And we expose ourselves to that kind of thing in order to reduce the anxiety. So it's kind of the same principle. What we're doing here is we are kind of putting ourselves forward to be rejected by other people, to say no. And the reason for this is it does a few things. It boosts our confidence. It kind of makes the rejection not sting as much forwards in our life. What it also does, it helps with assertiveness as well, but it helps us to reduce anything that will cause discomfort in social kind of societal kind of things as well. So that's all that it is. What we're doing is exposing to someone to reduce the fear. Then what we're doing is we're going to do the cognitive restructuring. So actually kind of reframing what rejection means to us, and then we're creating new neural pathways.
OK, I'm assuming these people aren't walking up to a guard going, "How are you, can I rob your car?" or aren't walking up to a woman or a man asking them to go out with them every 5 seconds on the street. What are these little rejections that they're doing?
Yeah, exactly. So they can't be kind of humiliating. They can't be using manipulation or cohesion. So they have to be done really mindfully. So the whole point is you're not setting yourself up for failure. These are small things that you're doing that actually sometimes the person might say yes to, which you'll be very surprised, and you reframe it. So some of the things you'll do is I might ask someone to pop into a shop. Let's say you might go into a big store and ask for a 10% discount, even there's none. Or let's say you go and get your coffee and you know this place doesn't do refills and you go up and you ask for a refill. Or you might walk into a restaurant and say, "Hey, look, I really like your restaurant. Can I get a tour of your kitchen, please?" These type of things. Or you might go to, one of the really famous ones was that the person that kind of made this famous, he went to a randomer's house and he asked them, "Do you mind if I plant a flower in your garden, please?" And the person was like, "Well, no, because actually I'm afraid my dog will actually tear it up. But my neighbour loves gardening. Can I introduce you?" And he got to plant the flower. So what it does is it's to teach us that actually a lot of the time rejection, we think it's about us when it's actually got nothing to do with us. It's more so about another person's boundaries. It's about kind of their own rules that they have or where they're just at in the time of day or where they're at in their life. And it's actually got nothing to do with us.
I love this, the saying, feel the fear and do it anyway. It's kind of encouraging people to push themselves outside their comfort zone.
Absolutely.
Which is so important.
It really is. If you kind of think about people that are, let's say, people pleasers, or they're afraid to say no to everything, or they'll just, I suppose, they don't go forward. I would know a lot of people where they're afraid to go for a job promotion because the fear of rejection is so high, or they'll stay within their role. Or, for example, they're afraid of just being rejected, let's say, in a relationship that they're in that isn't going well for them because they're so afraid of abandonment. Something like this can be really, really healthy for those people. It doesn't take away the overall sting of the rejection. Rejection can still be really hard. But what it does is it changes the mindset that it's actually not about you, and that also actually, I love the phrase, one of my favourites is that rejection is redirection. It's actually using it for a growth mindset and saying, okay, I didn't get that job, but that job wasn't for me. But what did I learn?
It could actually be a good thing because we're living in a world where rejection...
Really good thing.
Yeah, but where rejection is leading people down dark rabbit holes. Yeah. Could it be a realignment after 10, 50, 20 years of kind of the X factor sort of generation and parenting of being told you're fantastic, you're great, you're the best thing that's ever happened, when they're clearly not? And we all have seen that, you know? Is it a good thing?
I think it's an amazing thing, right? Rejection is something that we need, as human beings, we're rejected from very, very early. So if we think about it, if you are a little baby and you're at home and your mom and dad is trying to get you into a certain pattern routine, and so they might leave you crying for a little bit, you're being rejected. Your need is, I need to be cared for, I need to be nourished, and you are being rejected. Or, for example, parents will tell their children, I want you to go into the playground and I want you to make friends with everybody. That's not realistic. A child isn't. So a child is going to be rejected early on in life, but they need to become comfortable with that because it's just a part of everyday living. And if we're not, the consequences, actually, we can be afraid to go in for jobs, we can be afraid to go into relationships, we can be afraid to be assertive. So actually, it's got massive implications if we fear rejection.
So there's things online about setting yourself a challenge for a certain number of days, 30 days or 100 days, and people wanting to hear the word no. But is there something that for people to go out there and try and push themselves outside their comfort zone every day? Trying to challenge yourself, feel the fear and do it anyway. Yeah,
that's a fantastic book. It's by Susan Jeffers. I recommend everybody to read that. It's one of the books that will really change you because actually there is nothing to fear. A simple no. Why should we fear it? There is nothing to fear there. So it is, with the rejection therapy, it's really important for neuroplasticity that we do it for at least 28 days because it takes that long for a new neural pathway to form. So I would say a minimum of 30 days. And it's doing small things that you'll get rejected. Wear odd socks. Ask a work colleague, do you mind if we take a Zoom break here because I want to dance for 60 seconds? These things that actually, because you're going to be met with laughter, you're going to be met with excitement. Some people are going to say, yeah, let's do that. Why not? I'll do it with you. So it's reframing because we're so afraid of what other people think of us.
Yeah. I think just ring up your local GP's office for 30 days and just get, nah, sorry, we don't have any appointments and you'll be done. Or try to buy a house in Ireland. Nah, that's not happening. You'll be done.